Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I've got another micro quadcopter for a review. This time it's from Emax. The model is Tinyhawk Freestyle. It's bind and fly, so it's pre-built, and the size of this quad is 2.5 inch. So let's check it. So let's check what's in the case. We've got two sets of A1 Emax propellers. Then there is instructions how to bind the model, how to change the channels and so on. There are stickers. Then we've got some spare screws, some XT30 connectors, some other like standoffs and so on. Then there is a USB charger for 1-cell batteries. Then we've also got two pieces of 1-cell battery. These are high voltage and the capacity is 450 mAh. And the model. So let's focus on the model. Let's check the components. The frame is 115 millimeters motor to motor. It seems not so durable, so we will see if it will handle some crashes. The motors are 1103 size and speed is 7000 kV. These are for 2.5 inch propellers. We will see the power of those motors. The camera is some no-name 600 TVL. The video transmitter is under the flight controller. It's 25 mW, not switchable for more, and there is also only 37 channels, so I think the VTX will be the weakest point of this build. Also there is only linear antenna for the video, so I will probably change it for some circular polarization antenna. The flight controller is F4 and it's under the VTX. It has integrated regulators, the ESC, so these are 4-in-1 and with BL-LES. I don't like this solution when flight controller is with ESCs, because if you burn the ESC then you have to switch all the components, I mean the FC and regulators. My version is FirstSky. The receiver is also integrated on the flight controller board, so here is the linear antenna from the receiver. We've also got this connector for 1-cell batteries, so you just easily plug in both of them here and put them on the top of the frame. Let's check the total weight of the model. So the model itself is 46 grams and with included batteries it's 71.2 grams. So before connecting it to the computer with USB, which is here, I will tell you my opinion. I pretty don't like the frame because to me it seems pretty fragile. I can bend it with my hand, so I bet that I will break it during the flight, but we will see. Also what I don't like is the angle of the camera. You can adjust it by just these two holes, so you can, let's say, change the angle for a bigger one, but only with those holes, so that's not good because you cannot choose exactly your angle. Also this camera, I would say, will not be the best one. Also the VTX, because it's some no-name VTX, but we will see. I will probably change the connector for battery for the included XT30, so I am able to use my normal batteries, not these. And also about the charger, it's just a regular USB charger. You just plug in the battery, connect it to your computer or power bank or anything else, and it charges. So we've checked the model and it's finally time to check the settings in Betaflight.
So the Emax is connected. Let's check the version. It's 4.0.4. In ports there is a smart audio on UR2. In configuration we've got D-Shot 600. I've already disabled barometer and magnetometer because I will not need it. Here you can change the name of the craft. I'm using FirstSky with D, so in options in the radio I would use D8 instead of D16, which is with X, so for me it's D. In PID, I've decreased the RC rate because for me it was too high. There was too much spinning per second for me. I like pretty low numbers. In the receiver, I had to change the channel map for me. Mine is TAER instead of EATR, which is default. So in modes, I've set aux 1 for arming, and I've set the beeper to be on aux 3. It's very useful because it's very easy to lose those micros in tall grass. So definitely configure beeper, and also flip over after crash or anti-crash mode. It's on aux 4 for me. It's good to recover your quad after the crash. In motor stop, you can check if the spinning of the motors, if the direction is right. For me, it was right, so you have to plug in the battery. Please do it without the propellers, so you will not injure your fingers. In OSD, I pretty hate if there is too much information on the screen, so I've turned off all the rest, just the battery voltage, which is very important for me. And I will also turn off the craft name. I've left this one just for the review. And last thing, in a command line, you can just write bind, and it will be in bind mode. So I didn't know this one. I always had to press the button, but this is much easier. So this was the configuration Betaflight. And finally, some FPV flying. Smart audio is working great, so you can easily change the channel in OSD. And this is my very first battery with this model. It's on a public street. I was never flying in a public because I hate disturbing other people, but this copter is the most quiet copter I've ever flown. So I was flying there. It was very foggy and also freezing day. So you will see water drops on my lens later. And as I will dive this tower, you will see first video interference. As I told you, the VTX is not ideal, so this is maybe 100 meter and there is interference already. So I would consider swapping for the different VTX. And this is 2 minutes later and you can see the water. So the vision was not great there. And here comes the second shot in garage. I was pretty surprised by the thrust, so I almost touched the ceiling. So it does have enough power and it's also pretty agile and accurate. So I was enjoying flying inside there. And as I told you, it's pretty quiet copter, so I did not disturb anybody there. I was trying to disarm and slide under my car. And then I rearmed and went through the car, so I would never do that with the bigger copters. So this type of copter is great for this type of fun. Anyway, the light was not ideal there, but it was pretty good in my vision. So I was trying some backward flying here. It was pretty hard for me because of the angle of the camera. And the third shot is during the night. I was trying to see if the camera has the problem with the light and darkness, and it did have problems, but I would not expect anything else from the no-name camera, so nothing horrible. You can see much more interference here. It's maybe because of the Wi-Fi's, but I would say it's just weak VTX on 25 milliwatts with linear antenna. In the OSD you can see the level of RSSI, which is signal from the radio. It's all the time around 50, but I had no fail-safes during the flying, so it was fine. And here my battery is already empty, and you can see the fly time is over 4 minutes, which is great. So you can have 4 minutes of fun with this quad, and let's finish it in my trunk.
Let's speak about good and bad points of the Tinyhawk. Let's start with the good points. For me, the biggest advantage of this model is the sound. It's very quiet, as I told you, so you can fly it even on public places. Second good point is the effectivity. It can fly for 4 minutes, which is very good fly time, even for micro quads. It's very fast and accurate, so I really enjoyed flying this model. And third good point is the price, because it's pretty cheap model. About the bad points, I was already talking about the VTX and the camera combo. It's not the best one, so I would consider swapping these two parts. At least change the linear antenna for some cloverleaf, so you will get much bigger distance of your video transmission. I will probably change the connector for JST or XT30, because I've got much more batteries with that connector than with this one. And that's it. The frame, as I told you in the beginning, looks pretty fragile, but I didn't break it. I hope that the review was not too long for you. Let me know in the comments if you like this format of the reviews, and see you in the next video.